I love baking, but not the cleaning part. If you are lazy like me or like to be efficient, this video is perfect for you because I'm going to show you how to make cake liners for not just the typical round pan, but also for other types of shapes and sizes as well. For other tutorials about how to make beautiful pastries from scratch, be sure to subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video every week. Alright, so we have a basic round pan and another one that the bottom comes off, a cake ring, tray, rectangle cake pan, and a little bigger one that you often use for things like bread. Let's start from the regular round pan. You're gonna first make the bottom. So cut your parchment paper into square shape. Hold it in half. Hold in half again. And keep holding like this to make a really nice sharp rectangle. So the tip's gonna be the center of the bottom. Mark the edge. Like this. And cut through the line. And ta-da! The bottom is complete. Next, let's make the side. I'm gonna need 2 stripes of parchment paper for this size. And hold into your desirable height. And cut about half or 1 inch away from the line depending on the size of your mold. And cut diagonally to create the fine frills or fringe, I should say. Just like this. And the side is complete as well. And I just decided to cut this in half. Just make sure that the side is completely covered. Place the bottom and ta-da, it's complete. For a pan with a detachable bottom, do the exactly same thing. The butter will not start leaking from the bottom if you make the frills precisely. And for the cake ring, we're gonna use the exactly same method. I'm just showing you here again. But very important thing is that you want to place your ring on a sheet or tray before you pour the butter. I'm sure you can imagine how disaster it's gonna be if you don't. And cut diagonally to the line, but do not go over the line. What I love about cake liners, besides easy cleaning, is that you can use the same pans right away without washing them off when you need to bake again and again and again throughout the whole day. Alright, next let me show you how to do with a tin or tray, whichever you have. When your tray is shallow, I always make sure that it's higher than the height. And what I'm doing right here is mark the lines and fold to create the really nice sharp edges. Once you're done with that, you want to cut the excess papers, but just make sure that the length is a little bit higher than the height of your tray. And you want to cut the corner diagonally like this up to the very corner. And close them together when you place them. Like this.
So as you can see, the corners are not completely sharp, it's a little bit round. So I just needed to tear the lines a little bit to let them completely fit on the bottom. And that's it. And when I was working on it, my daughter just woke up from her nap time.
Say hi. Did you sleep well?
Yeah.
Play.
Alright, so let's do the loaf pin this time. You want to make sure it's a little bit longer than the height. And pinch the bottom lines so that you can fold through them later. Mark the top lines as well. And again, just like you did with the tray, cut a little bit away from the line so that the batter won't overflow while you are baking. Fold through the lines like this. Don't skip this part because it will create the really nice and sharp look for your cake. And here I just decided to trace the lines so that you guys can see clearly. So we're gonna cut the edges, but there's two ways. You can either cut diagonally like that or cut straight. I'm gonna show you both ways, but let's start from my preferred way, which is cutting straight. So turn 90 degrees every time you cut and cut straight along the line. I like this way better because it fits really nice and then there is no parchment papers hanging around everywhere. And let them sink in the pan like this. And make sure that it is fitting to the bottom really nicely. And I like to pinch the corner to create the extra sharp look. And it's done. Alright, so this is a smaller pan, smaller rectangle pan that we often use for cake like pound cake. But let me show you the second way, which is cutting diagonally at the very end. So all the other stuffs are same. So again, what I am doing is marking the bottom and top corners so that you can fold them. And after that, cut a little bit away from the lines. Just like this. And double check because it's always important. And this time cut diagonally just like I did earlier for the tin or tray. This is probably the easier way. And just like I showed you earlier with the tray, cross the edges like this and let them sink to the bottom. And pinch the corner. And all done.
Now you know exactly what to do to make a perfect liner for your cake. Make sure to hit the notification bell because on next week I'm going to share the step-by-step tutorial on how to make the delicious classic vanilla butter cake. It is often used for cakes like fondant cake or buttercream cake because it can really sustain the weight. So if you like this video, please let me know by liking it and commenting it below, and please let me know what you thought about this video. Also be sure to connect with me on Instagram and say hello. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next week.